Okay, in this video, I'm going to teach you how to use one body feint to come up with different exits. And by the end of this video, you might understand that what you need might not be more skills to beat the defender, but rather how to come up with different variations. Let's get going. So the body feint I'm going to be demonstrating is actually just a simple shoulder drop and then taking the touch outside. Now, the key thing, as I speak about in many of my videos, is going to be actually where my plant foot goes. So when you're dribbling, when you're approaching the ball forward and when you're approaching the defender, just make sure that your plant foot is not actually behind the ball, but rather higher. Try and get in front of the ball. Now, just simply by doing this exercise, or just walking there or walking here, look how my body shape changes. If I were to just leave my plant foot there, notice how even if I lower my knees, realistically, my shoulder doesn't drop as much. However, if I'm here and if I try and overstep and try and get in front of the ball, notice how my shoulders naturally drop a little bit more, right? So you got there and you got there. And simply because we are reaching for a little bit more, my upper body drops a little bit more. Now, as we understand, the more our body or shoulders move, the more effective a body feint can be. And this is why we try and overstep in front of the ball to maximize my shoulder movement in order for us to keep the skill most effective. The simplest form is going to be push, step, and outside. It is not just going to be a step and push, but rather try and break it down into 3 simple steps. You gotta push, you gotta step, and then you gotta push again. So push forward, step, then wide. So there, wide, and out. And additionally, having the wide and higher plant foot can bring you a better ability or better capability of you getting around that defender. If you had a look at my previous video, I talk about, depending on the plant foot, the direction of the touch changes. So if my plant foot is behind the ball, we tend to push the ball forward. But if my plant foot is wide, level with the ball, or even higher, then naturally my touch is going to come on the side of the ball, pushing the ball sideways, which will give you a little bit more distance away from the defender for us to get past. So just get used to little push, stepping wide, and then pushing it sideways. So push, step, and wide. Now, in terms of the push, we need to understand it's not necessarily a hit. So if you look at it from different angles, I'm actually trying to drag the ball out with my body. So it's not a touch, step, and touch. I need to go with the ball. So can you stay on the ball? Can your foot stay locked on the ball for as long as you can? So touch, 1 and 2. So that's the simplest form we can take. Now let's just take a step or 2 back. What can happen is we can then take 2-3 touches, drop, and then get out. We really need to master the foundation here. 1, 2, out wide. Let's try this again. 1, 2, out wide. Right, so that is 1 step and out. So 1 body feint and then out. Right, so the next one is going to be a double. So what we want to do is we take the initial body feint here, and then second step is going to be out there. Then we are going to take the touch. Now the crucial thing here is going to be after the first step, on your second step, which is the jab, that you try and do your absolute best to make it look like you're about to take that touch with the second step. So the more you can make it look like you're about to take that touch with your right foot or with the next step, in this case my right foot, the more effective this technique is going to be. So let's practice. This time we're not going to stay too close like we did before. We're actually going to take another step back because it requires us to drop not only once but twice. So we go there, 1, 2, and out. Keep in mind, we want to try and stay low, there, 1, 2, and out. The concept stays the same, where my plant foot has to be wide and high. On the second time, it's the same. We do not want to go 1 here, but fall behind on the ball. Because my next touch, I can accidentally push it forward, which might cause the ball to get caught on the tackle. So we go wide and high, and also wide and least level with the ball. So I can try and push the ball sideways. So let's practice. Okay, so the third one is going to be 3 body feints. Oftentimes, I'll try and do 3 steps when I don't have much speed and I just want to unbalance the defender as much as I can. So maybe the 1 step and the 2 steps body feints can be really effective when you're driving to the player at pace. But maybe the 3 steps, at least the way I find it, to be quite difficult when I'm driving at speed. Now, obviously, with plenty of practice, you can absolutely do it, but through lack of practice and experience, I find it quite difficult to do 3 steps when I am driving at pace. So how do I use it? When do I use it? Well, when I'm actually in pretty decent distance, or, I say decent, which is about like 5 yards, or I get the ball and then the defender is about maybe 3 to 5 yards away. So relatively a close space, however, still a decent amount or chunk of space. So that's when I would use it. We can also go 1, 2, 3 and out. But the way I kind of like to vary it up is actually 1, 2 and slight delay there. So it's almost like slow motion of you falling on the 3rd step. So we go 1, 2, slight delay. Because what I am trying to look for is actually the hips of the defender. If the defender does follow my lead, then I'll see that and then take the ball there. But sometimes defender doesn't follow my lead. He or she will stay exactly where she is and doesn't follow, right? Maybe then my last touch is not going to be as effective. I just might get caught. So with that said, on the last one, if she doesn't follow or he doesn't follow, I just throw that and then I go out because my momentum was already shifted there and maybe I can catch him on this scissors. So we go receiving, getting the ball out, quick 1, 2, and we could do there. 1, 2, a little push, or one of my favorites, you've seen Messi do this quite a lot. 1, 2, and a little scoop. Another variation can be 1, 2, and 1, 2. So many different ways to come up with different exits on the 3 steps. And of course, the first and the second as well. But this is how I like to use the 3 steps. But how about when we are dribbling? And you can kind of see the speed of my body feints have changed. Also the distance, because it's 3 steps, I find it really difficult for me to go from wide to wide. So we keep it 1, 2 really fast, but I try and emphasize third one to make that as a punch. So like I showed you, I don't think what you need is more skills. I think you need to be really good with your fundamentals, and then you can come up with many variations that might be applicable in the situation that you are in. Do you want to level up your fundamentals? Check out my private community on Skool.com. I'll leave the address on the comment. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.